What's this? What's happening? What's going on? Welcome to The Morning After with your host, me, Alex Ringler.
Hi, Poodles.
Hey, Poodles. Okay, so let's go around. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and I don't know what you had for breakfast this morning. Go ahead, Russ.
Hi, I'm Russ White. I'm the co-publisher of Q Life magazine. I'm calling in from Las Vegas, Nevada. And I have had French vanilla this morning for breakfast.
I support that choice. Michael, let's go.
I'm Michael Barbieri. I am calling in from New York, and I'm the dining and entertainment writer for Q Life Media. And I don't eat breakfast. I'm not a breakfast guy, so nothing.
All right, nothing for you. And
I know it's the most important meal of the day, but...
No, that's been debunked. Anyway. Rance, my Facebook friend for 5 years today, Rance Collins. Tell us a little bit about you, new to the panel.
My name is Rance Collins. I am from, or I live in Los Angeles, California. And I had kashi cereal and a banana for breakfast this morning. And I'm here for the first time, I think largely because I went to the taping of this episode.
Oh my gosh, he was there when it was happening. Woo-hoo. Awesome.
Exciting.
And last but not least, the grace to my will.
Hi, Rance, I love your t-shirt. Want to steal it. Nigel Phelps. I'm in Connecticut, and my breakfast was mango protein smoothie by Naked Juice, and they didn't pay me for that.
They can pay if you want to be a sponsor, Naked Juice. We'd love to have you.
I would love to have.
So we start with the cold open. They're in the office. When Karen walked in with I came as soon as I wanted
to.
Has anyone watched Strangers with Candy? Because that was a line from Jerry Blake's mom. She's like, "We came as soon as we felt like it." I was like, I mean, you know, everyone has the same idea over and over again. But I hoped it was a nod to Strangers with Candy. I don't think it was. Barely.
I hope so too.
I just like the fact that, you know, Karen says what we all wish we could.
Pretty much.
I feel like in the taping of the episode, they actually shot everything twice, basically. And this first take, she didn't say that. She said, I can't, sorry I'm late, and whatever people usually say after that.
Exactly. It's like, say some sort traffic. Or it's like, it could be 100 things. But it's really, I came as soon as I wanted to. That's just what it was. Okay, so we get the bombshell that Rosario is in the hospital, and we are in the hospital. And I was hoping beyond hope that we would get Nurse Trainee Pittman back. I was hoping that Jennifer Elise Cox would be back and still being a trainee like 11 years later, or like however many years later. Missed opportunity. Oh God, I wanted it to happen so hard, and it just didn't happen. But what did happen was Jack running around, and he did his lines, "Give me Rosario's Jello." That's definitely a reference to when Karen was like, "Give me my husband's pills," when he was
and it's terms of endearment. Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, it's reference upon reference, and then he ate the Jello, and she took the pills as well. So it was, I liked that, like a little nod. Okay, then we get the bombshell that Rosario didn't make it. How did that like feel when? Could you see it? I saw it coming a little bit, but also, yeah. How did everyone feel when the ball dropped that Rosario was no longer with us? Nija.
I was sad. I love Rosario. I love her and Karen's interactions. She's often what makes you see first the worst, then the best of Karen. So I love that. But I actually did kind of see it coming, because since she wasn't there in the first episode or the second episode, I was like, oh, is she not coming back? And I didn't want to see it, but I figured it was coming.
True. And Rance, you said something. That she wasn't coming back on the series because she had retired. But what did you say her last line was in the election? Because we saw her in the election special, and she was pretty funny in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had one line in the election special at the very end of the special, and she says, "Look at this basket of deplorables."
Good time. Well, that's a good line to go out on, I guess.
It is.
Okay, so then you could kind of tell it was going to be a touching episode. Number one, because somebody died. Number two, because of Karen's reaction when Grace goes over to her and she's like, "I know what." She just like walks off. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get deep with Karen." I love when we get deep with Karen because she's such that character who, yeah, she's there as like kind of comic relief most of the time. But back in the original series, what I liked is that they got to expand on the Karen character, the Jack character, and they got to give them each kind of a moment to show their humanity in that side of themselves. And yeah, so what did we all think of that when we see Karen dealing with a little grief? Michael Barbieri, what do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, Megan Mullally is a wonderful comedic actress, and she's there, you know, as this sort of laughable character, this sort of ridiculous character. But people, I think there's still a lot of people who don't know what a really good actress she is.
Yeah.
And she certainly proved it. I mean, she's always proved it in little moments throughout the original series. But this really gave her a lot to really sink her teeth into. And she did a great job with it.
I think so.
I had an acting teacher years ago who told me once that it was much more moving for an audience to see a strong woman that was holding back the tears than someone who just lets it go.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that Karen proved it. You could see the strength, but you could see the strength breaking underneath.
Well, that's just a human thing. That's what makes it good acting, is that, like, no one wants to, like, cry in public. Like, if anything, we all do our best, like, if we feel like crying, to get someplace private to do it. So it's like, it's that holding back that we can all identify with and be like, we don't want to break. So I think
did a wonderful job of it.
Yeah, beautiful performance. And speaking of guest stars returning, which we weren't, but speaking of transition, we get Lorraine Finster back. My goodness, I thought, and her line, I heard as soon as I came. I was like,
yeah, very Lorraine.
There are a lot of really sexual innuendos, sexual references on this particular version of Will and Grace.
Well,
I
mean, you could say that way, or she could have just been showing up to a church and heard that Karen was there when she came there. So, like, maybe that's how you get by the censor-wise. I'm not sure.
But then also, you know, Karen talking about finishing herself off in front of her husband.
Yeah,
and even last week with Beverly Leslie talking about, wait, you mean you like ding-dongs more than you like ho-hos?
Yep.
And you gobble more, what is it? You gobble more hot dogs than a Japanese competitive eater?
No,
I mean, they're getting a lot of sexual references, sexual innuendo there.
No, I think that you said to me last week. That was on the panel, wasn't it? So Russ, what did you think of Miss Lorraine coming back and just being a klepto, which I loved?
I've always been a Minnie Driver fan. I've loved her in everything she's done. So it was great to have her back, and I thought the hug that was so genuine, and then the earrings walk out the door.
How did they do that in the audience? I'm wondering, like, Rance, like, did they like stop and just change real quick? Because you hear the audience laugh, and I was like, I wanted to be there to see. Like, I really hope they did it super quick, you know?
I wish I could tell you that they did it sleight of hand, but no, they actually called. They didn't say cut. They said, like, okay, hold, and then somebody ran in, took them off. They ran in, and then kept
production assistant.
Yeah,
it's television magic, everybody. But then when she let her leave, and I wrote this down specifically because I really liked it. It was at the end of the day, aren't we all just whores looking for a dirty pole to take our last ride on? And I was like,
again, more sexual innuendo.
Indeed.
Yeah, you're right, Michael. There's so many.
But it's 2017. I think we're allowed to be a little dirtier.
Yeah.
Like I watched Scandal after I watched Will and Grace just now, and I was like, yeah, we have a little bit more license to be dirty now. Okay, then we cut and Karen leaves. I also like the book with a bunch of magic spells as the Bibles.
Yes.
And we cut to Karen in the bar, and Smitty is back. Another guest star coming back. I mean, and he's like a one-liner, like an under fiver guest star, but every time he makes me laugh. Well, he and Karen's reaction. What did you think of that, Rance? Did they give like a little let's give an applause for Smitty being back on set? Or
They actually, with both Minnie Driver and with Smitty, they told us in the second takes, okay, guys, let's applause.
Yeah.
Basically, and everybody was so excited to see Smitty because he was so unexpected, you know. He was like what in like 4 or 5 episodes in the original series, so you kind of have to be like a deep cut fan.
But always when something is going wrong with Karen, I think whenever Karen's like lamenting, what's it all about, Smitty?
But he did great. He didn't mess up. He didn't mess up a single time. He did it perfectly both times. And then they brought him out after he finished his take to give a big little.
Oh, good.
Oh, nice.
I'm glad little moment because that's fun for coming back. And what did we think of Grace's monologue about being the favorite child? I thought it was a very Grace moment to have. And what's great about Deborah Messing is that she can sell those moments comedically. Otherwise, it can't. That monologue itself could come off as like just a stuck up, you know, rich girl or something. But she gives it like the graceness of it. I don't even know what to say about it. But I think it's just the character that it's so like it works so well. Nigel, what did you think?
I thought it was, like you said, very Grace. And, you know, Will's like, don't make it about you. So, you know, she's going to make it about her. That's Grace. But like you said, she does it in such a funny way because she truly feels like, oh my God, my poor mom. She really feels that. It's not just that she's so self-centered, although she is sometimes. She really is like, oh, my poor mom. I was the light of her life. And I love when Karen's like, your sisters must hate you. And I thought, yeah, we know that they do. We've seen that. Her sisters hate her because she was her mom's favorite. And I also really liked it because I was like, Debbie Reynolds. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that they mentioned that, you know, her mom had died.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if that was a little nod to Debs because, like, she was great on the show. Rance, you say.
I read an interview this morning with Max Mutchnick and can't think of his name. Who's the other guy?
David Cohan.
Go ahead.
I read an interview with them, and they say that that's not the only time they're acknowledging that Bobby Adler doesn't passed away. They're going to have another episode where they further expand upon that, apparently.
Well, that's fun. That's something to look forward to. And I have been, like we said in the first episode, I like the little nod in Will and Grace's apartment, the little picture over the couch or in the background. Yeah. Whenever they're sitting on the couch, we can see Bobby Adler, Miss Debs there. Okay,
Dead
great.
Center?
Yes. What'd you say, Michael?
Dead Center?
Dead Center, as Miss Debbie would want it, I think. Center stage. The only thing that kind of is getting to me at this point is Jack is simply becoming physical comedy now. Like which is great, and he's great at it. But
he's great.
And with this episode, we get Karen kind of opening up a little more. We might get a little bit more that way, and we got it a little bit with his grandson. But I feel like
Jack,
yeah, we got some heart there, but it seems like every episode now he's about 10 times as physical as he was in the first series. And
yeah, I agree.
I don't know if that's like just to be like outlandish or just something that that Sean Hayes is doing by himself just to have fun. So, but I don't know. I kind of want a little more out of Jack. What do you think, Russ?
I think we've seen a lot of Jack. I think we'll see a little bit more as the season continues because we've seen each episode is focused on each character now. This was really Karen's episode. Grandpa Jack was kind of a Jack episode, but it was kind of overpowered by Will and the camp counselors. And Will became more of Gunkle Will. It was more of a Gunkle Will than a Grandpa Jack episode. So I think that we'll more than likely see the episodes play out to where each character gets a little more focus.
Yeah, I agree, and I think and we've got the rest of this season. We've got season 2, so they have plenty of time to do all the physical things they want, and give us a little heart too, which we definitely got in this episode, and we definitely got when Will came and met Karen at the bar. I was like,
Oh,
That was a nice moment. Yeah.
I got a little
was
teary. I will
Yeah.
say, like,
That's when you have to
that's when I really teared up.
I mean, because she needed that support. She didn't need someone talking to her, convincing her. She just needs someone to be there, and that.
And every once in a while, Will can do that for Karen better than Grace, better than Jack. I don't remember what episode it was, but I remember in the original run, there was one time where he was like sitting next to her and he just like grabbed her hand or something and put his arm around her. And then she just like looked at him and like he got it, that she just needed something simple like that.
I think
Well, that could be true of. Yes, Russ.
I think it showed us a side of Karen that we all wanted to see, that there is a heart, there is compassion, but I think more importantly, it showed us that there's a different way to grieve and to celebrate the passing of life.
Right.
We all do it in our own ways,
Yeah.
and this was just such a very touching way that said, okay, you've got this hardened woman that actually does have a heart, and true to the nature of Karen, the pulling out the bottle of cleaner and rinsing off the coffin was like just such a as much of a touching moment as just sitting there with her in her final hours.
Yeah.
Her last monologue with Roro was very touching. Did anyone else notice that they actually put like a huge pink quinceañera dress inside of the coffin? Because
Yeah.
I saw like the bottom of it when they had that shot, and I was like, they put a freaking huge pink dress in there. I was like,
And also the quinceañera banner in the background.
Yep. Well, she already bought all this stuff. She might as well use it.
Exactly.
All the flowers were quinceañera flowers.
They sure were.
Yeah.
Did it say? Was there a 1 and a 6, and they switched it, and it was like a 61 or something like that? I thought I caught that, but I might have to go back and watch again. Like a flower thing that said 1 and then like 5, or they. I thought I saw it. Maybe I didn't see it, but it would have been a good idea. No, but and that was good. What I also liked about Will and Karen is that like sometimes the people who are closest to you, like a Jack or a Grace, are to Karen. Sometimes they don't have the like distance to let you do what you need to do. They want you to feel better because that's like not a selfish thing on their part, but like they care so much about you that it's hurting them to see you like that. Whereas like Will, Ian, Karen, he's been her lawyer for a bunch of years, but they've never been like super, super friendly. So he might have had that distance. And I think it was a good choice to use him as that. He might have had that distance to be like, you do what you need to do. She's there right now. Go ahead and do what you got to do. So I like that. Grants?
Exactly.
So Will's kind of the grounding force on the show.
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, each of the other characters are oftentimes just very much caricatures or exaggerations, but Will always is pretty much there in the center, the grounding force. So it makes sense that he would be the one to connect.
I agree. He's the gay straight.
Yep. That's exactly what he is.
I like to call him straight man. Well, okay, I really liked this episode. After last week's, which was fun, but not my favorite, we got a little more meat here, and we got to see everyone kind of at their best, I think. So, I'm so glad, and I can't wait for next week. Anyone have anything else to say before we sign off?
Well, I was just going to say, again, they keep throwing in those pop culture references. So we had Terms of Endearment. I'm more confused than Britney on stage in Vegas.
Oh,
Yep.
And when Jack was doing the dancing for her, and they threw in the electric slide, Ease on Down the Road, and Thriller.
That's right.
I was expecting Single Ladies.
When they shot that, they did Single Ladies. They did. He did like 10 or more dances. And
was that just Megan riffing, like just calling out random dances, and then he would just do it?
Dances, and he just did everything she said, and he ended up in a puddle on the floor.
Oh my God.
Break dancing. So that was
Oh my God, there needs to be a release of like some sort of behind the scenes of that just to see all of the things he's doing.
One more line that they cut that I really liked in the scene with Grace and Karen in the bar. Karen originally said, Grace, I hear what you're saying and I see what you're wearing, and the answer to both is no.
Oh, that would have been so good.
I hope they use it again because it was a really funny line.
Yeah.
It's so Karen and Grace.
It really, yeah. Well, thanks.
I think we're going on hiatus for the show for a couple of weeks.
Oh, do we? Okay, great. Well, not great, but
keep an eye on the schedule. But we'll be back with the next episode whenever it airs.
yeah, we'll promote it. We'll say when we're back. You'll know. We'll be bugging you all over the internets. Well, thanks, Brance, for joining us for the first time. Nigel, Russ, and Michael, thank you for joining us again. And I'm Alex Ringler, and thanks for watching The Morning After. Bye, Poodles.
Bye, Poodles.